Over in the swamp, Democrats are admitting that they're petrified by their own progressive base, anonymously, of course.
Multiple Democratic senators airing their shutdown grievances to the Hill, one saying, quote, "We would have enough votes to reopen the government if people were not terrified of getting the guillotine." Oh, yes, the tolerant left strikes again. Speaker Mike Johnson has had it up to here with the feckless opposition. Mike?
The American people would have an open government if Democrats were not terrified of their radical base. That is the headline. Republicans are trying to fix it. And they're trying to blame Republicans for the crisis they themselves created. They cry foul when we won't bail them out of their own shutdown.
Joining us now, Small Business Administration Administrator Kelly Loeffler. Great to see you. If the Democrats have figured out yet another way to put the screws to small business owners.
They have indeed. Look, this is what's happening across America. I was at the White House today with a set of Georgia leaders, a delegation of representatives, and they said in their communities, they're seeing, particularly our military communities, where they've furloughed 20,000 civilian employees at an Air Force base. And what's happened is small businesses see their businesses declining. And it's not just small businesses in military towns. It's hundreds of small businesses every day, 300, that are not getting their SBA loans. That's added up to over 4,000 small businesses who aren't getting access to federal funding, totaling about $2.5 billion flowing to Main Street. So Main Street businesses are hurting. This is the Democrats are the party of fear and punishment, and they're punishing American voters to show how afraid they are of the radical left funders of their base, that they are going to try to do everything they can to obstruct President Trump. And they're hurting small businesses and military families along the way.
So, Administrator Loeffler, you have been inside Congress, you've been deep in the belly of the beast, and now you are operating in a different role in government. How is this shutdown affecting more than just the government officials who are being furloughed? And does it make you despise Washington?
Well, look, don't take my word for it. Take the American voters who are fed up with Congress. And look, the Republicans have done their job to reopen this government. They have passed a clean continuing resolution, a funding bill that Democrats have voted for 4 times. And the Schumer shutdown is now turning into the Schumer layoffs of the American people. Look at the Council of Economic Advisors that estimates that 43,000 workers across this country could lose their jobs every week, costing the economy $15 billion. That's what the dysfunction of the Democrat Schumer shutdown has caused. And as President Trump said, we're not going to be extorted. We need to have common sense. If they want to have a conversation, we got to reopen the government, get the American people back on track. President Trump created the greatest economy we have had in years. We've now finally got wages growing faster than inflation. GDP, it grew 3.8%, on track to do that next quarter. This president is making sure that the Americans don't feel pain. Chuck Schumer is trying to extract pain from the American people.
How much pain do they want? Like, that's the question, is how much pain will they inflict upon everyday Americans, small business owners, before they vote to reopen the government, when they shut it down?
Well, I've seen it for years in Washington. It's never enough for the radical left. Once you bend the knee, they're going to keep going. When they want the No Kings, We Hate America protests, they have that. Now they're putting other demands on Democrats. Don't vote to pass the defense authorization spending bill. Don't fund our military. It's never enough once you bend the knee. And that's what's happening in Senate Democrat meetings. It must be really painful for them, but it's extremely painful for the American people. And I'm grateful that President Trump is calling for common sense to get back. And hopefully on that 12th vote tomorrow, we will reopen the government and get back to a common sense economy under President Trump.
All right, all eyes on D.C. Thank you so much, Kelly Loeffler.
Thank you.